Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very interesting video because we have the rumors, updates, and news and the leaks across the board. Just very exciting stuff. And not only do we have another official Zelda update that kind of tells us some hints about the Ocarina of Time remake, but me personally, Mr. Robot Joe, I did some digging and diving and I found something very interesting that lays out, I think, how big this game is going to be. So all of that and more, let's go and get right into this. It's almost weird because when you sit and think for the day, you're like, okay, it feels kind of slow with gaming news or Nintendo news. But then you go back 24 hours and you're like, well, I don't know if that's true. We're just getting desensitized to it all, but there's a lot happening. We have Splatoon this week, so that's probably going to be the big news for this week. Although I kind of feel like there'll be a Nintendo Online something this week as well, but that's just a theory I have. So we have a lot of news to get into. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. Also, if you could follow me on Instagram and Twitter so we can keep the communities growing, that would be pretty cool as well. Now let's go ahead and get right into this one. So the first thing I want to do is talk about, it's labeled a rumor. I don't know how true it is or how true it could be, but I also think it's pretty interesting because it brings up the conversation, like if the Switch 2 is going to, I guess, start just getting games across the board day one, if that makes sense. So the rumor reads, Star Wars Galactic Racer is coming to the Switch 2 soon. Geekay's website, one of the largest video game distributors in the Middle East, is currently listing Star Wars Galactic Racer Day 1 Edition on Switch 2 for a tentative release on October 6, 2026. But they also have the PS5 box art. So is this just a simple website error, or was the product page revealed too early? Now the reason why I think this can go both ways, retailers mess up all the time, and I also think retailers kind of clickbait a little bit as well. Because they know we'll talk about stuff like this and then you go to the retailer and then maybe buy something. But also, this game is coming out October 6th. We're just assuming, or I'm just assuming, we're going to get another big Nintendo Direct in September. So you would think if this game was coming to the Switch 2, it would be shown off in that September Direct and then officially revealed on the retailers across the board. So I think we're actually going to see that more and more, or it's like we get some leaks and rumors about games coming to the Switch 2, but no definitive answers until that next Nintendo Direct in September, which again, I think it's just going to be a really big Direct. So hopefully, whether this is coming or not, we just start seeing more and more games show up day one on the Switch 2, and honestly, I think it's leaning that way. Now quickly, we have a smaller update about Elden Ring, which we know is officially coming out on August 28th, which is pretty cool. I've never ever in my life reached out to game developers or publishers for a review code. I've just never done it, but I think I might try to do that for this because it's a game I've been on the fence quite a bit about, and I think it would be kind of cool to check it out and not have to pay for it, obviously. Let's just keep it a buck here. That's why I would like to reach out to them, because $80 is pretty expensive. Now we can see the Elden Ring Tarnished Edition display box, I believe here in Japan, or not here in Japan, but in Japan, you get what I'm saying, and the file size is 50 gigabytes. Now as far as I know, the Tarnished Edition includes all of the DLC as well, so I was thinking, that seems so low for a couple of reasons. One, this is a game key card. This could have fit on a 64 gigabyte cartridge very easy. So I just, is this just them being lazy? Which could be, it could just be what it is. But then I was curious, how big is the download size on other consoles? And I looked it up for the PlayStation 5, and the base game is 45 gigabytes, but the Tarnished Edition on the PS5 is 65 gigabytes. So we can see they did quite a bit to get this on the Switch 2. They really developed the hell out of it. I'm sure changed some texture, some assets, removed some stuff, tweaked some stuff. So somebody like me who never played the original version on another console, it's going to be hard for me to compare it to those other consoles. But I'm really curious, what this final build will be on the Switch 2. And before we get into some of these bigger updates, we have a potential look into when Stellar Blade can release on the Switch 2. Now, I believe it was in the last Nintendo Direct they showed it off, and that's very exciting. But I think it just said coming in 2026, I believe. I'm doing this off memory. This is a game I can't wait to play. I wanted to play it on the PlayStation 5, but I thought I'll just wait because eventually it will probably come to the Switch 2. And I'm pretty sure their developers said they want it on the Switch 2, and we know that's now happening. So today we have Stellar Blade being rated for the Switch 2, and this is through the ESRB ratings. And last time this happened with Elder Scrolls Oblivion, we got a release date trailer within a week or two of it being rated for the Switch 2 as well. So is this a game that could be showing up in August? It's really starting to look that way. I can't remember if they said this is going to be fully on cartridge or a game key card or the price or anything like that. But I have a weird feeling, which isn't like, man, how do you know something like this? I just have a strange feeling this game is really going to catch a second wind on the Switch 2. And I can see the install base, over the next year or two being a pretty big install base. So this is one of those games I am very excited for. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now let's start getting into some of these bigger updates. One of them feels so strange because we went an entire generation without this franchise. And although I didn't own a Wii U, I heard it was actually a pretty innovative way to play maybe one game from this franchise. I'm not sure. And what I'm talking about is Call of Duty. Like, it's finally coming back to Nintendo platforms. I think I heard that when you played Call of Duty on the Wii U, you would use like the touchpad to use your kill streaks or something. And it actually sounds pretty cool. But we know Call of Duty is officially coming back. And it's not the previous entries, which I still want to get. It's the newest Call of Duty, right? The one that hasn't even came out yet. So now we technically have two big updates for that. So Nintendo says, mark your calendars. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 start on August 26th. You can also jump into Modern Warfare 4 open beta weekend starting August 28th, and no pre-order is required to participate. That sounds awesome because, essentially you're going to be able to try out the game before you buy it. So I personally wouldn't pre-order Call of Duty. This is something I'm sure you can buy on the eShop at any time, obviously, but it's probably going to be one of those things that you see in stores everywhere just because it's been so long. And I'm excited for this. I'm not somebody who plays Call of Duty really ever anymore. Black Ops 4 was the last one that I bought, like brand new day one. I do play Call of Duty actually a few times a year, but I just go and play the older campaigns because I really like the campaign. So hopefully Modern Warfare 4 has like a great campaign. But I will be picking this up on the Switch 2. One, because it's the first Call of Duty in pretty much like a decade almost on Nintendo consoles. And two, I feel like that pick up and play aspect of the Switch 2, it's just going to feel like the best way to play this game. Now, recently on the PlayStation 5, out of nowhere they got Black Ops 1 and 2. They weren't even remastered, just straight ports. I'm hoping we get that same treatment as well on Nintendo platforms or the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's get this. That's cool. And then before the year's over, let us get Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and 4. Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. Also, if we can get Warzone, that would be awesome. And yeah, man, I just don't see why they wouldn't do this, right? I think Microsoft technically owns Activision now. They need the money. They want people to play these games, so hopefully we get more of these as time goes on. Now let's get into some big Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake news/leaks. Over the past 72 hours, we had a potential pre-order date leak from GameStop, but then it turns out that was false. It was actually pulling information from Beast of Reincarnation, so August 4th being the pre-order date, it doesn't look like it. Then we had Nash Weedle on the Attack the Backlog podcast say, on September 9th, specifically that day, not like in September 9th exactly, we're getting the first gameplay trailer for the Ocarina of Time remake, and that sounds pretty cool. Will that happen? Who the hell knows? But it sounds cool, so yeah, hopefully that happens. Now we have an official look coming from Nintendo out of Japan. Very, very small look, but I think it says a lot. And then I found some very interesting information from a trademark that I think tells us the scale of this game. So here is the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake page in the Nintendo Summer Catalog. And the slogan is, Reborn Across Time. I understand like the whole time thing in Ocarina of Time. I beat the original like 10 times. I never even played the 3DS version. And while Zelda is my favorite franchise, I don't want to say the game is bad. I think it holds up. I can play it right now and I really enjoy it. For some reason, it never hits like my top 5 Zelda games of all time, and I probably would have it closer to like number 10 out of top 10. The whole point of me saying that is like I get the whole time aspect, right? But saying reborn across time, I don't know why. I feel like there's these 3 words, they're like really telling you like, look, we're really gonna go crazy. As young Link, it's really gonna be fleshed out more, and as adult Link. And could you imagine if they somehow slipped like a teen Link into Ocarina of Time? Because it's just so strange. You go from a kid to like a young adult or whatever. I don't know. I just think they're really going to flesh this out. But this is cool, man, that it's, you know, got an official something or another aside from that first trailer. Now, let me show you this new Zelda trademark that I found very, very interesting, because it's just for The Legend of Zelda. It doesn't say anything else. They filed this on February 26th, and the status date of this is July 13th. So just 1 week ago, right? And normally you'll see a trademark filed for like one reason, like this kind of service, and that's it. This one is so interesting. So as you can see right here, here is the trademark that says The Legend of Zelda. That's it. Very, very simple, but very mischievous. And then under goods and services, you would normally get one thing. And at the top it says recorded electronic game program, downloadable electronic game programs, blase blase. Essentially, this is for a video game, right? Video game cartridges, memory cards, which they don't even make anymore, but the top part is for a video game. Now part 2, video game machines, arcade video game machines, portable games with liquid crystal displays. That second part I think could possibly be for the Zelda Switch 2 edition, like the Ocarina of Time themed or Zelda themed Nintendo Switch 2 edition that is rumored. That might be what that's for. After that is where it starts to get a little wacky, like tea-based beverages, coffee, soda water, advertising, entertainment services, and a slew of other things. So seeing all these crazy ass trademarks they have thrown in here, I think they're going to promote the hell out of this. Like the same way you've seen the Mario Galaxy movie promoted legit everywhere on posters, t-shirts, toys. You've seen it on signs, commercials, YouTube ads, just everywhere. But then you would see it on like packages of Oreos, packages of noodles, shampoo, just everything. Because it was a massive moment for Nintendo and they bet everything on that. I think that is the same exact thing we're getting with this Zelda remake. And you don't do that if this is a one-to-one remake. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying you can take a lot away from this. I think they're going all out because this Zelda remake is going to be massive. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most. So in the comments below, I would love to hear from you guys. And if you made it to this part of the video, if you could do me a favor, hit a like and subscribe on the way out. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter on the way out, and consider becoming a channel member. Please become a channel member. It would really help out. And you guys know me. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace.